Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock. I was streaming earlier this morning, and a viewer, he asked if I found a setup for the Vroom that can cover normal and back recovery. And it's something that I considered before we had the data, but I forgot about it. So he reminded me, and now I'm like, okay, let's look at it and see if there's anything we can find there. And it turns out, yes, we can. There's some interesting things we can really dive into here too. So first of all, we're using the same tools that I talked about before, where we found that setup with the Unblockable standing hard punch and V-trigger. But this setup is now we're looking at normal and back recovery, which there's a 5-frame difference of. So we want to look at Vroom itself, and we want to look at the spread of the active frames, and then we want to test it. Now, I can already tell you, so here's a normal and back recovery. This is where the active frames could potentially hit. Now, you would think that it could also work in this position right here, where this third active frame of the first hit of the Vroom hits on the normal recovery, and the first active frame hits here. But it turns out this the third active frame of the first standing of the Vroom, just standing light punch, this has to be airborne because it doesn't hit opponents on the ground in this situation. But it'll work here on the second active frame. So now you can see that the second Vroom is hitting on the second frame of your opponent's back recovery. So what this means is that you need to be against their normal recovery. You need to hit on the second active frame. So if I look at my chart over here, that wasn't a throat clear to imply something. I was just actually clearing my throat. So if we look at my chart, when does my standing jab hit on the second active frame? You look here is my standing light punch. It hits when I'm at a plus five advantage on their normal recovery. So when I'm plus 5 on the I'll be plus 10 against their back recovery. So that's when the second hit is gonna hit them. So what does this look like, right? All this yippity yapping, I can just show you, right? So there's 3 knockdowns where I can be plus 5 after I dash up. There's probably going to be more setups if I find the frame kills for them. But for now, what's really important is that EX Abigail punch, if I don't mash, if I do mash, it increases it by 1. But if I don't mash, and then I dash up, I'll be plus 5. So this will cover the normal and back recovery. You also have hard punch giant flip, and this will work just the same. And then, here is what is crazy to me. V reversal. I don't know how I'm going to emulate this. But V reversal will also work. They're all the same knockdown, 30. When your dash is 25 away from 30 is 5, which is where we want to be. So let me just show you what I'm talking about, right? Normal recovery, 3 frame. This is Laura's 3 frame. We're gonna do just hard punch giant flip. Boom. There's a normal recovery, back recovery. We do Vroom, bada bing, bada boom. Let's do it again. We mistimed it. So just by 1 frame. There we go. Now that's covering both knockdowns. But that's not all, right? Because we still have there's more to the story. Because what happens when they get hit? What happens when they get blocked? What happens if they don't recover off the ground? So, and then we got to figure out how we're gonna get these knockdowns in the first place. The hard punch giant flip, the EX Abigail punch non-mashed, and V reversal. V reversal is a little bit more easier you block something that you can V reversal, and then you have that knockdown. So, for example, you might get a counter hits crouching hard punch, and then forward hard punch, and then now you have this hard punch giant flip, and this will cover both knockdowns. That's standing jab. What else? It was the EX Abigail punch. So you can hit from here, and then say you get the same knockdown scenario, and you go right back into it. So I shouldn't match that just to keep demonstrating. But here is what so now you have a general idea of how the knockdowns lead into each other, how you can get those knockdowns, and how you can apply Vroom as a double meaty. Again, hard punch giant flip, EX Abigail punch, and V reversal. If you dash up after those 3 knockdowns, your Vroom will double meaty both. Now, to complete the whole process, we need to find out what happens if they don't get up off the ground, and we do Vroom. So it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like this. We'll go with just we hit from over this. This is the scenario, and then we do standing jab. Now, how do we meaty them from there? How do we calculate what we have? So we need to look at the total active frames of our dash and our Vroom. And we need to look at the knockdown total, right? So we're looking at EX Abigail punch. They all should be the same. And by the way, Bay Area Sunrise is also a 30 frame knockdown, but there's no back recovery, so there's no need to do Vroom Vroom. Vroom Vroom. So hard punch, giant flip 30, EX Abigail punch 30, Ontario drop 30. This is the V reversal, and this is not relevant. Yeah, not really. What were we talking about? We need to look at the total active frames of the dash, the Vroom Vroom, and how long they are on the ground. So we're looking at this number, 89. 89. We can also use this and just kind of plug in numbers, but I want to show you the way to do the math on it. So, you know the dash is 25 total active frames. Vroom Vroom is 24. So we add those together. 25 plus 24 is going to give us 49. And then we subtract that number, because that's what we did. We did dash up and then Vroom Vroom. That took 49 total frames. Now we need to subtract that number from the length that they are on the ground if they do nothing. And that was 89. So 89 minus 49 gives us 40. So if I go over to my handy dandy active frame, Okizemi, whatever you want to call it, if I go to 40, it looks like my crouching hard punch, if I charge it while I'm in V-trigger, this will hit them meaty on the second active frame. Just ignore that it says no hit crouch for the moment. That'll be something I'll tell you about after I show you. So now if I do the same knockdown, and then I Vroom Vroom, and then I hold hard punch, that's going to hit them meaty. If they try to hit me with a standing jab, if they try to throw me, doesn't matter. Even armor moves, it won't work because it's hitting on the first frame of their wake up. So this is going to armor break them. Now, I can tell you that this move actually does not work against somebody who's crouching. But it's going to hit them crouching because it's hitting on the second, on their first frame. So it's going to hit their standing animation. But you can force a crouching state with normals. Right? Let's see. Hopefully this is crouching jab, right? That's crouching jab, I think. Okay, so I'm going to show you that this is not going to work if I do it against that crouching move. So, I do EX Abigail punch. Jab, jab. I messed it up. Do it again. No mashing. No mashing the Abigail punch. Now see, it missed. It missed because she forced a crouching state. So that tells me that this doesn't hit crouching opponents. So that setup is there. But if the opponent knows any better, they can mash their crouching move, any crouching move, and that'll work. But let me just go ahead and show you what this looks like if you put it all together. So if I want to be in a V-trigger state first, and I want to go into something that gives me this knockdown, I can do something like crouching hard punch, which will crush counter, and then I can do the hard punch giant flip. And then we got this, that, and oh, you know what? I did it late. Wow, that's not bad. You know, if I charge the hard punch literally a frame later, then it's going to hit her crouching, and I'm just going to absorb it. So that works too. So, not bad, not bad. So this is going to be like one of these, one of those. There we go. Oh, actually, I don't need her to do that. That was perfectly timed. That's why it was bad. So, one of these, one of those. Dash up, one of these, and then boom, 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 boom. Oh, look like that. Oh, she looks like she's stunned. I think I could have fit a back hard punch there too. I could have done back hard punch, but you get the idea. Yeah, I did a combo that did 800 stun earlier with the back hard punch. That's crazy. It's crazy. So you have a double meaty that leads into an unblockable, and they can avoid it if they do crouching normals. It leads into an unblockable, and if they get hit by it, it does 800 stun. It's probably gonna kill them. You're probably gonna find a combo that can kill them from here. So, yep, Vroom Vroom double meaty. Thanks for the question, Fero, in the chat. You just take one thing and it ignites a bunch of other ideas. So that's it for now. I hope you learned something. Vroom Vroom double meaty when you're +5 normal recovery. And if you have in V-trigger, again, you're +40 on the no recovery if you do Vroom Vroom and they don't recover at all. So you can work something else. We can frame kill to something else that we might want to do. But I hope you learned something. Twitch.tv/AutoMattock. Twitter.com/AutoMattock. Man, I do this whole video pretty well, and then my outro just goes down the toiler. Okay, well, I did hope you learned something. I'm AutoMattock. Like, comment, sub. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna get better at this outro thing eventually.